Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today, I was in two minds about doing this video. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it because I don't really care about Derby County, to be honest. Really couldn't care less. But I just thought, given the fact that I do support their arch rivals and something may have happened to Derby recently that's quite funny, I felt maybe it might be worth doing a video. I just feel, it's a mark of sympathy, if that's a thing. It's not, but let's just say it is. I thought I'd do a video about it, and we'll just talk and be very sympathetic, very serious. No mucking about here. Derby relegated to League One for next season, and there'd be no East Midlands Derby, but let's face it, Forest could quite easily go up anyway. So we wouldn't have played them regardless if they stayed up or not. But more to the point, we've got some cracking away days coming up. Fleetwood, AFC Wimbledon, Morecambe, Forest Green Rovers. So they're still going to play Forest. They're just going to be a bunch of vegans instead. But yeah, look forward to that derby. Let us know how it goes. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And you've only got 5 contracted players. So yeah, good luck with that. Pleased to see that you're celebrating this by going to the training ground late at night to talk to the players, which, to be quite honest, I'm not even joking here. That is kind of a nice gesture because ultimately they are only down because of a points deduction. But if you're going to then try and make Tom Lawrence start a bounce when they've just been relegated, that's a step too far in my opinion. Come on. Okay, yeah, genuinely, not even mucking about. I get why they did that, and I think what really said in that little speech genuinely was quite good of what he did, and under the circumstances, Rooney has done quite... I'm not even in shot, am I? Under the circumstances, Rooney has actually done a pretty good job. More than a good job. But all this talk of manager of the year is too far. Ultimately, he was in charge of a club that got relegated. And even if it wasn't for the point deduction, they would have been about 19th. So I'm sorry. No. There's not a chance on earth that he would have been even considered for manager of the year if it weren't for the points deduction and they just had a normal season. Okay, they had a great home record, they had a poor away record, but I'm sorry, manager of the year? Okay, yeah, I'm repeating myself, but he's done a good job under the circumstances. But when you consider what Cooper's done at Forest, when you consider what Nathan Jones has done with Luton, even though they play incredibly irritating football when you're playing against it, slight dig there if you couldn't tell. Huddersfield, what they've done, Colin Corberham, Marcus Silva, even though it was always going to be expected Fulham's promotion, they've actually achieved great things. Surely all those managers should be considered a lot more than Rooney because they've actually achieved a lot this season. And even if they don't achieve their own goal, it's still been huge progress, especially for Huddersfield and for Luton. And for Forest, look where we were last season at the start of this season. So yeah, fair enough. Done a good job under the circumstances, but he's not manager of the year. Come on, surely not. And if it is, that's a travesty. But yeah, let's actually talk about how they got relegated. I think it's definitely worth pointing out. Derby could get relegated that day, relying on the fact that Reading lose. If they lose, then Derby, regardless of their result, do live to fight another day. They do fight to the end. After all, Derby were away to Queen's Park Rangers, a QPR side that were on a dreadful run of form, and Reading played Swansea, a Swansea side that weren't doing much with their season. So Reading take the lead early on, then instantaneously lose it. So suddenly it was looking really bad for Derby, and then suddenly it was going in their favour. And then they go and score another 2 goals, Swansea. 4-1, surely out of sight. Unbelievable scenes. And then, the most, just beautiful, beautiful scenes here. Then, Lucas João, I think it's in this order, Lucas João, and then Tom Ince, an ex-Ram, and more than anything, he's played for every single club on the planet, it feels like it anyway. Tom Ince. And then, I've never watched Tom McIntyre play that much. Okay, I'm not going to lie, I don't watch Reading that closely. But Tom McIntyre, Forest legend. He's not even played a game for us, and I hope he doesn't, because he plays for Reading. But, what a legend. He single-handedly relegated Derby, along with Luke Amos, down in London, by winning 1-0 against Derby in the 88th minute. This is what I love. Let's just get this straight, right? Tom McIntyre's goal was in the 95th minute. Reading brought it back from 4-1 down, 4-4, and QPR's goal was 88th minute. They fell apart right at the end. It's just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And that made for an absolutely incredible atmosphere at the Forest game. It was always going to be good anyway, but yeah, a lot of Derby-related chants. You'd never guess.
We're the fiver in the bank, fiver in the bank, fiver in the bank. Club's going down, we're the fiver in the bank, fiver in the bank.
Good luck next season, lads, in League One. Will you come back up? Being serious for once, will you come back up? Really does rely on your takeover happening. This American bloke that seems a bit dodgy based off what he said on social media many years ago at the very least. And yeah, they probably do need to actually assemble a squad because they're only going to have 5 contracted players next season. So you would probably imagine they'll keep quite a few of them, but they're going to lose a lot. And as much as the likes of Lawrence and Davis and Sibley. Why am I naming Derby players? The likes of those 3, they seem committed. Do they really want to go away to Fleetwood? I'm not so sure. So it also does depend on their owner, really, doesn't it? More than anything. And speaking of owners, I love the fact that Sky and the BBC and all these companies, they always have to say Wayne Rooney's Derby County. This is what I mean. Is Wayne Rooney the owner of Derby after all? Is he actually responsible for this? Because that's all. That actually doesn't make any sense. The club name is not the reason for administration. The point is, why do they have to call it Wayne Rooney's Derby County? I know, because he's an ex-Man United and England legend. Okay? If it was Tony Pulis, they would never once call it Tony Pulis' Derby County. It doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? Another thing, actually, the Rooney thing's quite a side thing. It's not actually that important. But the thing that really I just don't understand, and this is a lot of football fans as well that I can tell, Sky and all these outlets are showing so much sympathy for Derby, saying what an amazing job Rooney's done under the circumstances. Actually, they never say that. They just say what an amazing job he's done. They got relegated. And yet they are giving them so much sympathy. Where was this sympathy for Wigan Athletic and Bolton Wanderers and Bury? These clubs that were on the brink of administration. Oh, wait, no. Liquidation. Bolton were 2 weeks away from it. Bury were liquidated and are now in like the 10th tier, called Bury AFC, not FC. Bury got promoted in the 18-19 season and they never got the chance to play the League One season that they've been promoted to. So there were 23 teams in League One that year. Bolton were relegated from the Championship in 18-19 after a number of scares. In fact, the year before they beat Forest to survive. And then in the 1920 season, they were in League One with a big points deduction. They were never going to get out of it. Then COVID happened. They stopped League One. Ended up in League Two. So even their fighting chance couldn't be given a chance because the season stopped. In League Two, they had a poor start, but they ultimately got promoted in quite an incredible fashion. And they're now having to rebuild. So Bolton have had to go through all that. Bury have had to go through all of what they've gone through. Wigan lost about 30 players when they finished, I think it was like 13th or something, 14th in the Championship. Got relegated as a result of a points deduction. A very, very similar situation to Derby, yet it was nowhere near as publicised. It was nowhere near as hyped up. Can you please explain that? I'd love to know, because Wigan had to play youth players last season and survive League One by the skin of their teeth. And within 2 years, they're already walking League One and they're going to be back in the Championship next year. That genuinely is incredible that we're going to come back that quickly. Being serious, that genuinely is incredible. But why is that not being more publicised? It should be. And yet Derby are getting all this, spotlight just because it's Wayne Rooney. Why? I don't understand. Not just Rooney, but why are they giving them all this sympathy and attention? All this nonsense, and yet they never ever hyped up or felt sorry for Bolton, Wigan and Bury, just to name a few. I just think it's weird. Oh yeah, by the way, also, just to really emphasise this point, on Sky, they put a clock counting down the days until Bury are liquidated. With Derby, you're probably going to do a birthday party or something. You're going to be celebrating the fact that they got, that they nearly survived. Bloody hell, are you serious? But yeah, ultimately this video is just me laughing at Derby. Sorry. That slipped out, didn't it? Me feeling sorry for Derby, being very sympathetic. Yeah, I look forward to watching you in League One. Oh yeah, by the way, you will get to partake in another competition next season. And think of it this way, right? If you're Man City, Liverpool, big clubs, you know, you get to partake in the 2 cups, the league and European football. So that's 4 competitions. If you're in League 1 and 2, you get the luxury that a Championship and a non-European Premier League club don't get. You get a full competition. It's even bigger than the Champions League. Have you guessed it, yeah? That's right, the Papa John's Trophy. Imagine if they get knocked out by Burnley's under-23s. That would be just unbelievably funny, wouldn't it? Sorry, I keep saying that, don't I? It'd be really sad if that happened. It really would. So yeah, this season has huge potential, doesn't it? Derby relegated, that's already a dream. And Forest could get promoted in the same year. This has already been an unbelievable season as a Forest supporter, but just the icing on the cake, seriously, what an unbelievable season. Very interesting video to do this one. I've enjoyed it a lot. Believe it or not, you'd never guess that. If you have enjoyed it as well, then please hit the like button on it, subscribe to Rads if you are indeed new, massively appreciated, and follow my Twitter and Instagram for any updates and general nonsense, quite frankly. And Derby fans, if you got to this stage, I'd be very surprised, quite frankly. Yeah, have fun in League One, lads. Up the Reds!